Sri Sri Anandamayi Mat Ki Jai. An old man. How can the mind be brought to rest? Ma. The mind is restless by nature. It naturally darts this way and that. It can have no rest till it gets its treasure, which is its birthright, the pure attitude. So I interpret sadhan as a bid for acquiring swadhan, one's real legacy. The object of sadhana is steadying the mind. Once the mind is steady, little remains to be desired. In order to steady the mind, one must adhere to a single preoccupation, such as repeating the name, taking part in a religious discussion, reading religious books, and the like. One should devote a greater part of his time to what he takes delight in. The old man. If the mind flits from point to point while repeating the name, is it any good? Ma, why not? If while walking you tread upon fire, you have your foot burned whether you attend to it or not. In the same way, repeating the name will bring its own reward whether you do it attentively or absent-mindedly. We often have the idea that repeating the name is not proving effective. It is true that often we cannot trace the effect of repeating the name, but actually it is never ineffective. It leaves on us an imprint of its own, and later we realize that it has not been in vain. But there is a difference between repeating the name attentively and doing it absent-mindedly. An attentive repetition produces result quickly, while an inattentive one takes longer in showing effect. But the effect is not lost. So I say, it is good to repeat the name constantly. You see, from the worldly point of view, a person who concentrates more on worldly affairs has his worldly wisdom well developed. Similarly, devoting greater time to holy ideas lead to their greater development. However, it is not possible to repeat the name for a long time at the outset because one does not relish it. Children also are not inclined to study as they prefer play to studying. If the children have to be educated, they have to be forced to study. Similarly, some force has to be applied in beginning for continuing the repetition of name. What is needed is the formation of habit. You see, utensils encrusted with dirt require a good rubbing to scour them clean. One round of rubbing cannot free them from dirt. The more they are scoured, the cleaner they become. To strike a matchstick into flame also requires rubbing. There is no saying when it will break into a flame. It is the same with repeating the name. A continual practice brings in the result. It is no good regretting that the mind flickers from object to object. The proper attitude under the circumstances is that you should no more follow the bent of your mind, which wavers despite yourself, but go on repeating the name, contrary to its tendency. You must have seen boys flying kites. The kite flies in the sky. It is not steady. It is now here, now there, but it is bound to the thread, wound round the spool. The kite stands for the mind. It has to be tied up to the thread. That is the name. Thus tied, it is bound to be controllable one day or the other. It is true that restlessness is an attribute of the mind, but it is also its property to come to a steady state. To bring it to this state, something has to be restored too. To secure a service, you have to seek somebody's patronage. In the same way, have recourse to the name for salvation. The name should be repeated for at least 3 hours a day, and this period has to be increased gradually. If on some day you cannot repeat the name for 3 hours, then you must make up the arrear some other day. In this way, you must make a resolution that you would increase the 3-hour period gradually till it becomes 6 hours, and attempts must be made to that end. There must be a resolution behind everything. For religious edification, many people accept gurus. Guru really implies God. He is everywhere and at all time. Instructions are scattered all around, and they are yours for the picking up. God gives these instructions in various ways. We can get instructions even from trees and animals. In this sense, the Guru is all pervasive. Ma said many things in this strain. At last, she said to the old man, Baba, you are now a retired man. Remember my words. The days past can never be recalled. Never. So always try to repeat the name. Sri Sri Anandamayi Mat ki Jai.